Everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. And also, I should probably plug in my earbuds if I can find them. Actually, I don't know exactly where they are. Sometimes I have audio issues if I don't do that. I'm not exactly sure why, so we'll plug that in and hopefully everything will be fine. Hopefully. We're going to talk about the Epstein filings today. Yes, there are a number of things that are listed, some exonerated and some not so exonerated. That's all anyone's talking about, other than that fucking school shooting. And we're not going to talk about that because I've gotten tired of talking about distraction issues. And yes, there are evil people in the world. It's very, very unfortunate. It ends up boiling down to, I hate guns. Hey, no, guns are good. And that's basically the debate. Nobody cares about the dead. And so it's rather morbid. And I'd rather not focus on that. We'll be talking about Emmer, actually. The House whip endorsed Donald Trump. That gives him a boost right before Iowa. Emmer, relatively well-liked compared to the actual Speaker of the House and certainly the leader of the Senate Republicans. So very good. Also, a big L for the Razor Force, a big win for Styx Hexendom. Italy divided over new pineapple pizza. Yes, pineapple pizza has invaded Italy, although it is in a slightly different form than we're probably used to. Still sounds tasty. I'd eat one. I just think that you should also have the tomato sauce on it, but that's just my personal opinion. We'll be talking about pizza, and not the way that Epstein was talking about pizza either. I'm going to be talking about something else. This is more of a sad story. Bruce Willis, specifically. He's suffering with dementia. He's dying basically. I've got some mixed feelings with regards to the constant Bruce Willis updates. They're becoming a little bit morbid too, and it's just rather sad. We'll be talking about that. And we've got the Tetris wizard. U.S. teenager claims to be first to beat Tetris. Yes, apparently going to level 157 and causing the game to crash. I am reasonably good at Tetris. I don't think I could probably follow that act, although I would put myself against almost anyone else in Galaga or Galaxian, just to be clear. Classic video games, another Razor reference, and then also the leader of Hezbollah, this was the other day, threatening the Israelis, which probably at the moment is not the greatest idea in the world, just saying, considering that they've hauled off and said, fuck. Oh, yes, Sheki Pavel, Joust. I did crash Joust once, actually. I had the Super Nintendo cartridge. I am very, very good at classic arcade games, other than Tetris and Dr. Mario. On those, I'm middling, I suppose. Oh, yeah, Joust was great. But Galaxian was the one that I really kicked ass at. I can't remember. One time, I was playing it on the Game Boy, and I can't remember what the fuck level I went to, but it cycles around. After a certain number of levels, it sort of resets itself to level 1. And I was kicking ass. I played it for 5 or 6 hours straight without, I think, dying even once. So, yeah, I'm very good at Galaxian. Let's go, Brandon. Please send no more super chats. That is not me. That is Let's Go Brandon speaking. Of course, we're still early in the stream. You're trying to rob me of money? I should charge you more to read out that super chat. You know, make up that difference? Mind of a Madman 69. Slayer says evil has no boundaries. True. Mike the Wapo. Oh, how did your gun hunt go? I actually didn't get a chance to go on that today. I'll probably do it tomorrow or, sometime in the near future. I've got work to do, lots of it, infinite work, and I wouldn't have it any other goddamn way. Some people, they're like, shit, it's 9 o'clock. I have to go into the office. And I'm like, oh, shit, it's 9 o'clock. I've got to make a couple of videos. And I will say that I do enjoy my job. I recognize my privilege. I'm capable of determining my own hours, and everything that I say is completely independent. So, yeah, I mean, I do have it pretty good. I will definitely admit to that. Had it bad in the past, have it really good now, and I hope to continue that because I've got lots of garden plans, and I've got a goat business, important goat business to get to when I get a pet goat. Yeah. I'm going to fucking keep it in the bedroom. I don't give a shit if it shits everywhere. Goats are great. Sigil Stone, interesting day at work today. Our gas well fucked up and the furnaces started venting brine. Had to open all the loading doors in the middle of a winter snowstorm so we didn't suffocate. Still dizzy. You may want to put in a workplace safety violation complaint or something about that if that's the case. Grandpa Nurgle says pepperoni. I am not a fan of pepperoni on pizza, by the way. I see the King of Biltong is there. Here's your daily shout out, of course. Link in the description, cross-platform to landofbiltong.com. You can also go to antonsusa.com and you can get some good meat. And also, Styx Hexen products are available there. I believe that the promo code STIX still gives you free shipping for your order. Another shout out to Pumpkin Fire Crafts, of course, as well. That link is also in the description, cross-platform. You can get keychains. You can get all sorts of stuff there. Keychains, spoons with the Ouroboros logo. Those are collectible, of course. Come in a variety of different designs, actually. Bookmarks and things of that nature. Sun Shin sent $1.99. No comment. Thank you very much. The Nerd Wire. Pineapple indeed does belong on pizza, but not that canned shit. I agree with you there. The real shit. I have 12 pineapples in my garden right now. Take 15 months to fruit, though. God, do you live in Hawaii or so, Florida or something like that? I wish I could grow a fucking pineapple. I imagine I've always had homegrown vegetables and fruits or wild berries, especially around here. And then I've had the ones from the stores, and the homegrown or the fresh ones are always 10 times better. Like, you wouldn't believe how good homegrown cantaloupe is compared to the shit that you get in the stores when you just literally cut it off the vine, slice it up, and eat it. It is so much sweeter. It's probably a lot healthier for you. Of course, nutrients are lost in transit over time, whether you freeze it or not. And yeah, that's the way to do it. So I like Anton's. Sigil Stone, goats have a freaky alien eyes, total goat death. And apparently our furnaces were supposed to be serviced in October, pushed back to December, and now the service company is fucking about. You may want to complain to somebody about that. And I don't say this to be a Karen or something, but if your life is on the line, you know, you're a clanker, and so I care whether you live or die. So yeah, don't get asphyxiated. Paul says shrimp pizza is the best. I do like brine shrimp on a pizza. I have had that before, and it was delicious. I will vouch for it. Anyway, the first news story of the day from the Independent: Epstein Files. What do they show, and what does it mean for those named? Not very much. My prediction was 99% accurate. About the only thing on there that we have that's novel is David Copperfield apparently went and did magic tricks on the island. Well, who cares? That doesn't mean that he banged anyone underage. Dershowitz is implicated, although he's separately also exonerated by a different witness. And then the fact that Trump is completely exonerated. He's named in these documents as predicted. And by the way, again, as predicted, CNN and the DeSantis fans are running with the idea of Donald Trump is named in the Epstein unsealing. The problem being he's named there because Epstein once stayed at the Trump casino, and separately, Trump is exonerated of any wrongdoing by one of the witnesses. So they leave that nuance out, or they put it in the third paragraph. Exactly as predicted. I spoke about that on Twitter yesterday. Trump would be in the documents. It would be exonerating, but they would pretend that it wasn't. It's exactly what's happening. We also have Bill Clinton named repeatedly, and Stephen Hawking. Now, and people can fact check me on this one. Here's the problem. Stephen Hawking was a quadriplegic by the time of the filing being made. He could not stand. He could not move his arms. Could he even feel his dick? Like, did he lose feeling, or he just couldn't move his body, is my basic question. Because they're saying that he participated in an orgy, and I'm just not seeing how physically that was even possible. Stephen Hawking, probably, I don't think that he could get it up. Or I imagine that he probably couldn't. I mean, it's possible, I guess. Yeah, people are making Stephen Hawking memes all of the time. I mean, he couldn't even speak without the aid of a computer. So I'm questioning whether it's possible that he participated in an underage orgy. People are saying, though, that he could. And now I'm getting both messages here as well. I heard Stephen Hawking liked to watch naked midgets try to write on a chalkboard that was too high for them. Yeah, I mean, he could barely move his head. So I'm questioning whether Stephen Hawking is actually into that sort of thing. And if he's dead, so, you're going to get any closure or anything like that. Jesus Christ. I'm on that one, I'm skeptical. And again, the problem with these legal filings, these are allegations. They aren't necessarily proved. That's probably why they redacted all the names to begin with, because now you've got this slurry of people. Pritzker's on there, the only other novel thing, Bill Clinton, Dershowitz, David Copperfield, etc. Just because they were physically there does not mean they did anything wrong. Additionally, and this is arguing devil's advocate, we know that Bill Clinton's a pervert, okay? So I'm not defending him, so please don't think that. But in the statement about Bill Clinton with regards to Epstein, apparently relating to one of the victims, oh, well, Bill likes him young. Considering that he would have been in his 50s at the time, that could also be construed as saying that he likes 20-year-olds. I'm arguing devil's advocate. I do know that, but we're going to put our legalese caps on and try to do linguistic analysis as well. I like to be fair and balanced in my reporting, unlike Fox News. Sparky, belated Happy New Year, fearless leader, and Happy New Year to you. You were probably hungover for the last 4 days. Philip Duger, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. So I'll give you something today since I caught you live. How often do you see Stolas, and can you see it whenever you want? Only once, when I was very, very young. I don't need to see this particular entity to understand that it is definitely still protecting and guiding me. Recent events have definitely shown that to be true as well. Praise Stolas. Never going to give that up. Hot Spot Southeast. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Drink up. Mike the Wop, I recently tried the Joe Rogan Elon Musk pizza they ordered on Halloween. Pineapple and anchovies. Pretty good stuff. I would think that'd be pretty good. The sweetness and the saltiness might counterbalance. I don't know. I think I would choose one or the other, though. Dothbog Drums. No comment. Thank you. Well, thank you as well. Sun Shin sent 1999. Again, no comment, but thank you very much. Emperor Soft Turtle, let be known, Trump was smart enough to see the most obvious honeypot and stay away from Epstein in general. Yeah, that is the big news. Donald Trump was never on Little St. James Island. He was never on any of Epstein's properties. The fact that the legacy media comes out and writes up, headline reports, Trump named in documents about Jeffrey Epstein's unsealing is completely disingenuous. He was confirmed not to have been seen there by several victims. We've got no indicator of him on the flight logs except to go to Manhattan at one point. He flew on the Lolita Express, but he didn't go to the island. And that's common among the rich and famous, lend each other a plane or a limo or something like that. There's nothing sus about it. In 2009, he gave testimony against Epstein, was actually named at the time as the only high-profile person willing to speak out against him, by the way. Then he promptly banned him from all of his properties. I have a feeling that he wasn't a fan of Jeffrey Epstein by that point. I can imagine that Donald Trump, prior to that, he was partying hard. He probably had plenty of college girls and stuff like that around him. He was Donald Trump. Back in the 80s and early 90s, that was a thing. He seems to have forsaken his former friend, Jeffrey Epstein. People are pretending like there are still active cases against Donald Trump relating to Epstein now, but there aren't. You'll see a lot of botting on Twitter if you're there. Harris, you claimed you never met a Nikki Haley supporter. MSNBC managed to find one, and he said he supported Biden 2020 and his biggest priority was Ukraine. Why does this not goddamn surprise me? Dutch Schaefer, did you see the Dems running Joe as their primary? I smell a switcheroo to Big Mike. Nope, Michelle Obama will not be the nominee for the Democratic Party. She's sworn off that particular path in life. I think that genuinely, and this is the one, other than the energy industry, this is the one positive thing I can say about the Obamas. They are more pragmatic. They had to deal with a bunch of bigoted, NIMBYist liberals, and they said, fuck you. They retired, they made their money, and they said, fuck this. Obama comes out occasionally to make a speech. Otherwise, he's been kind of an absentee former president, even more than W. Hell, even more than fucking Jimmy Carter at this point. And I actually respect that. It's like, you had to deal with these NIMBYist neo-Confederate liberals all the time, so. Brindone Sticks, I illustrated an occult and liberty-themed comic from Dark Horse Comics called Survival, and the paperback comes out in 2 weeks. Support a clanker. Okay. We have from Dark Horse Comics, Survival, a shout-out. Scarfy the Strange, will the government use AI to prosecute Trump? No, it's not that advanced yet. It still has problems with human hands, so I think that'd be a difficulty. Miss Jen's Heirlooms. Hey, Sticks, I sell heirloom vegetable plants in mass. I would love to donate some to your garden. I was inspired by your garden tours and now have a business. That sounds right down my alley. Yes, absolutely. DM me on Twitter. I'd be amenable to that. I've got some of the seeds already, but you can always use more. I'm just glad that my chamomile genetic line survived. There are 7 plants out there. It's going to be a little bit of a bottlenecking. So they may be a little bit inbred and fucked up, just like everything else in Rutland. Mr. Repurpose, when you visit West Virginia, will you and Tim do a remake of I Got You, Babe? I don't know. I could sing a song with him. That'd be fun. I have stage fright, though. Believe it or not, this is something that some people don't know about me. In person, I tend to be fairly avoidant and shy. I don't mind if somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, I'm a fan or something. They want a selfie or something. That's perfectly fine. But I tend to be less conversational in real life. Here, I get paid to rant for a living. In real life, really, I prefer to just fucking be in the woods or in the garden. And there aren't many people that I can hold an extended conversation with without losing interest, honestly. That's no offense to anyone who's ever met me in person. I promise you that I enjoyed meeting you. Many people. It's really great, actually. It's an ego boost, and you know that you've got people that appreciate your work. But in real life, I tend to be very shy, very, very shy. Yeah, Morgan, improv's definitely harder than anything scripted. Well, I mean, this is improv too, but the thing is, like, I'm somehow subconsciously I'm aware I'm technically talking to a camera. And so the fact that there are several thousand people watching me right now, there's a separation, like a wall between the two of these things. And yeah, so it's a little bit different. When I'm in person, I tend to be very, very shy. It's just out of habit, you know. It's pretty cool, though. You know, it's fun. I really do like meeting my fans, though. Anyone who comes up to me, if you're a clanker or something, I will shake your hand. I will definitely shoot the shit. I have no problem with that, so feel free. It's just that I'm not as outgoing in real life because I like to take it easy. It's just the way that I am. I can't bloody fix myself. Sigilstone, the Stephen Hawking midget chalkboard thing is just a funny meme. The Nerdwire, Southwest Florida Zone 12, biatch, great for citrus. Yeah, I've seen Florida. I was in Tampa for a while. Saw urn plants growing wild. I was like, what the fuck, you know, because I know them as an indoor plant. Ronin361, finally caught a Rumble stream, but missed the chance to test my theory to see if your audio only warbles when you see yourself. Anyways, I enjoy your content and the chat shenanigans. Clank, thank you very much. Sigilstone again. When you saw Stolas, was it the same gay bird from that Reddit furry cartoon? And are you saying you're never going to give him up? Never going to let him down? Never going to run around and hurt him? No, I mean, he's had my back for many, many years. And actually, the depiction of Stolas when he's in demon mode in Hell of a Boss is actually pretty close to what I saw. Not the general cartoon, you know, when he's got the top hat on and stuff. That's not exactly how he looked, but... Oh, and check the Ron Gibson Rumble channel. He re-uploaded the interview Alex Jones did the other day with brother Nathaniel. Nathaniel got so spicy, Jones has deleted the interview from everything. I can imagine. I know of brother Nathaniel too. I could have him on my show, but he'd probably get me banned. I have no problem with him, but he doesn't really have a filter now, does he? Everything's a hammer mechanic. So what are your thoughts on 277 Fury, or known as a 6851, basically a spicier version of a 308? I have no thoughts because I know you're referring to a firearm, but I've never encountered that firearm. Habibi Deluxe, thank you for being awesome. Cheers. Thank you very much. You're awesome too. Ornery Penguin, when you go to West Virginia, get hot dogs with sauce. For hot dogs, I typically do goat cheese, sweet chili, and ketchup when I have my choice. If that's not available, then I'll do the standard ketchup, mustard, minced onions, and relish, actually. Doesn't matter whether it's sweet or sour relish. I don't care. Long as there's relish. Next news story. House GOP's leaders close ranks around Trump as number 3 Republican reveals his support. Yes, Tom Emmer has said that it's now time for Republicans to unite behind Trump. Again, we are barely a week out from the Iowa caucus, so that's fairly important. You're probably not going to get this from Mitch McConnell. You're probably not going to get this from the House Speaker. Emmer is probably the highest up that you're going to get this from. And in a way, I can kind of understand it. Like, let's say you're the leader of the Senate or something. You've got a governmental function. You probably shouldn't really be endorsing anyone and meddling within the primary system. But Emmer said, fuck it. It's time to close ranks because it's quite clear who's going to win. I have a feeling that he bet on the winning horse. I don't see any real competition for Trump in Iowa. When Nikki Haley melted herself down, she probably lost any gusto she had in New Hampshire, and then Chris Christie exists. I talked about that a few days ago. So I suspect that Trump is going to run the field. This is Emmer effectively saying, okay, I understand who the candidate's going to be, and so here's my support. Here's my endorsement. I think that it's probably a good idea for political reasons. Emmer has more time left there than Mitch McConnell have. Mitch McConnell, he keeps falling down and, having that blank stare sort of absent seizure thing going on. And he's not well. He's even more unwell than Joe Biden. So I'd be very, very surprised if he was capable of seeking another term. And if he does, he's fucking crazy. But, he is a Senate Republican, so that could actually happen. So the House GOP leadership is beginning to unite behind Donald Trump. Majority Whip Tom Emmer, Minnesota. The number 3 House Republican is backing former President Trump to take back the White House in 2024. Trump is now headed into the January 15th. Yes, that is very close. Iowa caucus with the support of every senior House GOP leader. Democrats have made clear they will use every tool in their arsenal to try to keep Joe Biden and his failed policies in power, Emmer said in a statement on Wednesday. We cannot let them. He added, it's time for Republicans to unite behind our party's clear frontrunner, which is why I'm proud to endorse Donald J. Trump for president. That's probably, again, a good idea. Donald Trump will be nominee, assuming the GOP is not crazy enough to do a brokered convention shuffle or something like that, or, nobody takes a shot at him, which, again, unfortunately is possible. We've seen the violence of leftoids. We've seen what they're capable of when they get radicalized by MSNBC or Salon or something. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. It would be deeply discomforting for our nation. It would be very, very unhelpful, but they're leftoids. So they like being unhelpful. So we'll wait and see what happens. Shy of either of those things happening, Donald Trump will win the nomination handily. It won't be close. I suspect he comes in a little bit behind where he's polling in Iowa, but still wins by more than 10 points. DeSantis will probably come in a bit ahead of where he's polling. He goes into New Hampshire. He wins against Haley again, 10, 15 points or thereabouts. Probably roughly as expected in New Hampshire. Again, Chris Christie is cock-blocking Nikki Haley as his competition. And then he goes on to humiliate Nikki Haley in South Carolina. And those of us who don't have DeSantis derangement syndrome are really hoping that he fucking gives up before Super Tuesday so that he doesn't get humiliated in his home state. Again, my problem with Ron DeSantis on the state level as far as HB 269 does not preclude me from potentially supporting him should he do like a congressional run or something in the future. I don't have DeSantis derangement syndrome. But by God, man, if you don't win any of the starting states, get out before Super Tuesday, because otherwise your political career is fundamentally completely fucking over. Susan Wojcicki, former CEO of YouTube, says, say Super Norwich 23, please. Stick 666. Super Norwich 23. I have no clue what that is. Sebastian Monroe, you think Russia would make moves on Alaska or China, make moves in the Pacific? Is our naval, air force, and coastal defenses enough of a deterrent? No, I don't think that Russia is going to invade Alaska. I think that they understand that that would be suicidal. I mean, it's possible. It's just what madmen would probably think up that possible course of action. Miss Jen's Heirlooms. Can I contact you on Gab? I'm not on Twitter. Yes, if you message me on Gab, I normally don't check my messages there and they disappear after time. I will, I'll review it later. Thank you. In fact, let me open that so that I don't forget. Shaker Silver. Your take on Vivek confuses. Why would a hater uniquely defend his rights, attack his enemies, and put forward similar policy positions? Whatever personal dislike he may have, it's not for his movement. I think that Vivek Ramaswamy is a plant who was originally concocted to try to drain Trump voters away from Trump. Hey, here's Trump, but he doesn't have TDS like DeSantis. So DeSantis was the I'm Trump and I hate Trump ticket. And Vivek Ramaswamy was the I'm Trump, I really like the guy, and I'm much more like Trump. Here, I'm going to be bombastic ticket. And I think that was an AstroTurf. And I think Chris Christie is a secret MAGA ally. I've explained this the other day. Let's see. Junk and Craft. Did we create AI to store the collective knowledge of humanity to save it from depopulation, kind of like Pandora's box? Interesting concept, yeah. Sparky Sticks. Russia put nukes in Belarus so Lukashenko wouldn't get gatified as the U.S. keeps attempting regime change in Belarus. If you'd followed the Duran, you'd have known this over a year ago. No, I think they just wanted to have a forward missile position for negotiating purposes. Everything's a hammer mechanic. It came out in 2019, developed by Sig Spear. There's a new military rifle. I've had the pleasure of 5, and it's great. Most fun I've ever had shooting a mid-cartridge rifle. Interesting. Everything's a hammer mechanic. Not 5 shooting, freaking autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect is a big problem, and usually corrects it wrong. Coolajiro, Sticks, do you think the Dems will nominate Michelle Obama instead of Biden? No, 0% chance, actually. I think that Biden will be the nominee in the end. And if he were to try to appoint someone, I don't think it'd be Michelle Obama. Honestly, I don't think that she would be willing. I actually believe her when she says she has no political future and she's like, fuck it. Because, I mean, you have to deal with a bunch of racist white liberals and you're black, and it's probably wasn't the most fun experience for her or the kids. Let's see. Trip Boom. When you head down to Texas for Biltong, please give a few weeks notice. Would love to head down and eat some meat with all the clankers. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing sort of like a get together sort of thing. If that is my plan, or I could go incognito mode. If I do that, I'll definitely tell people beforehand, because apparently dozens of people flock to Anton's to buy meat and apparently are aware of my existence. So, yeah, I like to think I'm being helpful. Getting people some good protein and some good fat. You know, put a few pounds on you. Virgil Shadow, still considering moving to New Hampshire? Yes, it's possible. I mean, it's basically the slightly lower cost version of Vermont with better gun laws, so. Essential Liberty, listening to Sticks and loading ammo. Life is great. Ammo 10% off with promo code CLANK at mtpu.com. Yes, indeed. You can get some good ammo. Dag Nabbit 32. How long do you think McConnell has? I'll give the over and under at like 2 years, considering how fast he's declining. You know, I don't want to be morbid or anything. I mean, he's less pernicious than like a McCain or something like that at the very least, but I mean, the dude had his hands all bruised. He's fallen down multiple times. He's having absence seizures. Clearly, something is fucking wrong with the dude. He should not be in the Senate. Sparky, no hangover from New Year's, was out of sync with your U.S. schedule. I'm flexible, so will alter my schedule as needed. Yeah, I haven't even finalized my schedule yet. Mark Guidetti, you are beyond wrong about Vivek. His life has been an open book for the past 4 years. He is 100% legit. Just ask Tim Pool or Luke Rudkowski. Yeah, I just have a disagreement on that particular issue. I think there's some nuance there. Sigilstone, are you going to visit Tim Pool by plane or driving? He's flying me in, actually. If you're driving and going by I-80 to I-79, I live not far from there, 5 minutes off the I-80. You could stop off and get a drink with me. Well, I would definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to be flying in. And travel beats the fucking shit out of me, so you know, for a little while, once I arrive, I'm just going to lay there in the hotel bed and be comatose. And depending on the day of the week, there's a local bar that serves some bomb-ass tacos. I probably make better tacos than they do, though. Maybe sometime I'll swing around. I'll get the ingredients. I'll fucking cook the tacos. Just trust me. I learned from illegal immigrants. Music and fiction. I have to wonder if so much wishcrafting around Michelle Obama for president is happening only because populist memers want to keep the Big Mike meme going. Memes drive the world. Yeah, she has effectively, explicitly stated on multiple occasions when asked, she has absolutely no political ambitions whatsoever. Normally, if a politician does, they'll say, well, I'm not sure. Maybe. Wiggle words, weasel words, something like that. Michelle Obama hasn't done that. She's been very, very explicit about it. So I believe her when she says so. Ramon C. GTC, we need a Clank Fest. Yeah, having like a Clank getup would be pretty fun. Sigil Stone, flying, lame. I like being up in the air. When you're above the clouds and, you know, they look like glaciers and shit, it's pretty cool. Now we have another news story. I am happy to announce a great victory for Clankdom over the Razor Force. You know, Razor Fist, my brother from another mother. We've got a similar style, similar delivery, similar topics at certain times. But we have a few disagreements. He thinks that beans don't go in chili. I think that he's right if it's a condiment, like on a hot dog or something. I think he's wrong if it's the main meal. He thinks that steak needs to be well done. In other words, charred. I think that it should be medium rare or medium. Either one is fine. It doesn't really matter. And marinated to perfection. But our biggest disagreement is over pizza. He believes that pineapple on pizza is an abomination. The Italians are just barely now, according to this article, waking up to the fact that it's actually fucking delicious. It doesn't have to go on pizza. My favorite is with extra cheese, 5 or 6 different kinds, preferably, and mushrooms, and also artichoke hearts. Those are fucking great on a pizza. Optionally, black olives. And if it's just black olives, that's fine too. Another topping, shrimp, which somebody mentioned earlier. Brine shrimp specifically, that's perfectly fine as well. Anchovies are acceptable. There aren't many pizza toppings that I don't like other than chicken. I don't understand putting chicken or buffalo chicken or any other part of the fucking bird on pizza. It ruins it for me. I'll literally pick it off. It's not so much that it's like terrible. It's just like the pizza was better with just the goddamn cheese and sauce. Pineapple can go on pizza. Ham is acceptable along sides of it. Sometimes people put like sausage on it with the pineapple. I'm not a huge fan of that. It's okay, but you know, whatever. But Italy divided over new pineapple pizza. Anyone who's set foot in Italy knows there are unwritten rules that one must abide by, and the most important of all revolve around food. I'm not surprised. Cappuccino after 11 a.m., only for tourists. Spaghetti bolognese, a horrifying thought. Pineapple on your pizza? Heresy, at least it was until now. But 2024 might be the year that pineapple pizza cracks Italy thanks to Gino Sorbillo, the renowned Naples pizzaiolo, pizza maestro, who has added the dreaded ananas to his menu in Via del Tribunale, the best-known pizza street in the world capital of pizza. Razorfist is screaming right now if he's awake. He probably passed back out when he read it. Sorbillo's creation, called Margherito con ananas, costs €7 or $7.70, depending on the day. But it isn't your regular Hawaiian, and this is where I would deviate from his particular recipe. It is a pizza bianca, denuded of its tomato layer, sprinkled with no fewer than 3 types of cheese. I like that. And with the pineapple cooked twice for caramelized feel. I like the latter two. I would want it with the tomato sauce, though, because it's fucking delicious. By the way to do it. If you're using canned pineapple, number 1, get the rings, thin sliced. Now slice them in half. And then pat them gently with a paper towel before you put them in the fucking pizza and coat them in a hefty serving of mozzarella. Otherwise, you're going to drench the pizza and it's going to be a mess. It'll be too wet. Pizza should be not dry, but it doesn't need to be like soup. Pizza should not be soup. Don't use those pineapple chunks like you get in the can. If you get it fresh, it's better. And yeah, it's pretty tasty. I've noticed in the last few years, lots of people were condemning ingredients or ways of preparing food purely because in the past, most people didn't know them. So I wanted to put these disputed ingredients that are treated like they're poison onto Neapolitan pizza, making them tasty, he said. I would point out one important thing. And this is something that Razorfist, again, will probably fucking bitch about. The way in which pizza is typically crafted Brooklyn style ain't original either. The original pizza back in literally ancient times was far, far different. It was more like a cheesy, herby bread. The thought of putting tomatoes on it never entered into anyone's mind until, if I remember correctly, the Renaissance. And even after then, it wasn't popularized until it was heavily modified and Americanized anyway. Pizzas in Italy are different from the pizzas in the United States, by and large, unless you go into Domino's, and I can't imagine that they get much traction in Rome or Naples or Tuscany. I want to see Italy sometime. I want to have like a real authentic, like I'm hoping there's like an Italian subscriber who's got like, an old mafia grandma who can, cook for 20 hours at a time. And then, I won't be skinny anymore. I'll have to come back and lose the weight. But I would eat the fuck out of that. Oh, yeah, I want to meet an Italian grandma, basically. That's one of my goals in life. I won't put pineapple on the pizza, Grandma. Don't worry, but, that would be cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't join the mafia. I could only be an associate, but yeah. Let's see. Edward Ream, enjoying the current stream time. Great listening while swapping fuses and programming in the field. Good on you. So you've got Ronald McDonald there, I believe, is the avatar. Holdall. My son and friends have a channel that reviews bad horror scary movies called Dookie Spookies on YouTube. Shout out. Consider yourself shouted out there. Yeah, now everyone's talking about their pizza toppings. Something Slicks. Heard you say Dershowitz was exonerated in one of your videos this morning, but files actually show Epstein forced Jane Doe number 3 to be with him numerous times while she was underage. Yes, I did get that one wrong, unfortunately. I don't know. I had a brain fart or something on the Dershowitz involvement. Norwegian Kryptonian. Did Star Wars finally commit self-termination this week? Yeah. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Star Wars no longer exists. Baron Von Blair. Pumping shit tanks while listening to you, Sticks, makes for a less shitty day. Thanks. California Clankin. Nothing wrong with septic removal. It's an honest job. You do something that's actually necessary and proper for society. Consider that a compliment. Sparky. Gaddafi was a nice way of saying impaled with a sword or bayonet. I'm correct on Belarus. Info was no longer news when you got it. With time, it lost context. I have a difference of opinion, but I respect your opinion anyway. Opinionated Junkie. Razor had a mini meltdown on Mickey in public domain. Oh, you wait till he sees the fucking pizza article. In fact, take the link in the description, archived, of course, and spam his DM with it. That'll be so funny. I want 100 clankers to go and DM Razorfist with the pizza article. Just get him really going. He'll probably do a rant on that, and then, my night will finally be complete. Mud, would be cool to see you debate on the Crucible. That'd be cool. Yeah, I want to do more appearances and debates and stuff like that. Now I have more time for it. Carson 87. Sticks, if you ever end up in the Golden States, mi casa es su casa. My home is your home. Cool. Thank you for the offer. I'd like to meet more clankers and stuff, feed me good food. And I can cook like a whiz too, so, I'll return the favor. I kind of like doing that. Crossover Maniac. Why not bake the pineapples first in the oven and evaporate the juices? Not unlike what would happen to pineapple on a Christmas ham. Yeah, that's fine too. You can skip that step though. All you have to do is thin slice it and pat it off. It removes most of the moisture, and the little bit of the moisture seeping into the cheese is good. It's just that you don't want to empty the juice from the can all over the pizza. And some people, for some reason, do that, and it's disgusting. Pilgrim Media. Sticks just hit 5 years with no haircut. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know how long I've gone with that one. A couple of years ago, I got a trimming on my ends, and that's basically it, I think. Wild Child. A fantastic Italian grandma channel on YouTube is Buon Appetiti. She's precious. Yeah, I've seen a couple of Italian grandma channels, and I'm like, can I come over? Can we do a collab? You do the cooking and I do the eating. It just works. Kathleen Green. Pineapple on pizza will be my death row meal. Oh, boy. Tukar. Was your 114 coverage today a brand new update? Yeah, I believe that is recent news, yeah. Oregon 114. Hold, I spelled it wrong. Dookie Spookies. So it's with 2 O's specifically. Dookie Spookies. Michael Cricklow. Pineapple and jalapenos on pizza is incredible. That's good too. That works. Penn the Mighty. Hey, Sticks, have you ever watched or read anything from New Discourses? James Lindsay gets into the philosophical and hermetic and Gnostic origins of woke. No, I haven't. But that sounds pretty cool. Also, God, I've got 10 million super chats on both sites. I can't even keep up with them. I'm not even going to get to all the news, I think. It's 40 minutes in. Sigil, I did that one. Dag Nabbit, thoughts on Meat Lovers pizza? It's fine, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Really, I actually like pizza vegetarian, oddly. I like meat. You know, Anton sends it to me all the time. But on pizza, mushrooms and or black olives and or anchovy heart. I mean, fucking artichoke hearts. Those are my 3 favorites. You got to drain those artichokes first. Otherwise, the pizza's too oily. King of Biltong, good afternoon from Anton's in Roanoke, Texas. Free shipping on your Biltong using code STICKS on www.landofbiltong.com and www.antonsusa.com. Make Biltong part of your high-protein diet. It's tasty and healthy. Very much so, especially the goddamn bison. Japanese Wagyu, though, it melts in your mouth. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. I'm thinking, Jesus. I guess there's something to this after all. Sigil Stone, Ari, your AI in court vid the other day. Leto's Law shared a story a while back about a defense attorney that used ChatGPT to file case documents. It made up cases cited and he got reamed. Yeah, I saw that one. It was specifically talking about foreign cases and cases that didn't exist and weird shit like that. It's not quite there, but it is still a risk. The Nerdwire. Sticks, I had a dream you were doing paid tours of your office. Saw what was behind your webcam. Silver cats and pineapple pizza were floating in the ether. Then we all sat down and had an MRE for lunch. That sounds pretty realistic, actually. I don't have any silver cats over there, but yeah, pineapple pizza once in a while might be laying on the table. Let's see. Susan Wojcicki, former CEO of YouTube. Robert Maxwell was an M16 Mossad agent and daughter. La Isti. Haven't looked into it, so I figured I'd ask. But are you and Razor related or something? Love Razor's videos. Clank on, brother. No, actually, it was funny because I only became aware of him because one time I had like the reflective sunglasses on and stuff, and people said, "Oh, you look like Razor Fist, or you're ripping off his act." Some of them didn't like it. And I was like, I didn't even know who he was. I did not know he existed. I looked up his content, though, and I thought, this is great shit. I loved his Michael Jackson rants and his Lincoln rant, by the way. And I had accidentally looked almost exactly like him at that point in time. Pretty cool. Guess that's a compliment to both of us, I suppose, on our style. Only he can ride a motorcycle and likes shitty pizza. Sparky Sticks. When Timcast was first swatted, I super chatted to Tim that it was likely the feds who swatted him using unwitting local law enforcement. He thought that was ridiculous. I may be vindicated. It's possible. You never know. Wagnervik Gaming. Have a great day, Sticks and everyone. Peace out. Peace out to you too. Ken, hey Sticks, by chance, have you seen the news about the DEA stating they recommend marijuana as Schedule 3 and that spores of magic mushrooms are not directly outlawed? I've known about the latter for years. I've never tried growing them because I'm like, I might poison myself, and I didn't even really like psilocybin when I tried it because I took too much of it. But yeah, that's good. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but it shouldn't be scheduled at all. It should just be decriminalized. Let people grow it, smoke it, trade it. Faxanadu John. Sticks, at this juncture, who are the top 3 most likely vice presidential picks for Trump, and who is your preferred choice? I would say Kristi Noem, Kari Lake, and Tucker Carlson are the top 3. I think those are Ramaswamy and a few others. Tulsi Gabbard would also be fairly high on the list. I would go with Kristi Noem, ultimately. I think that would be the safe choice. Kari Lake is good. She's very rhetorically talented. I respect her. The problem is that would be just compacting core MAGA, but they're already core MAGA to begin with. Kristi Noem, I think, does more outreach. Tucker Carlson would be an excellent choice, but I think he's that distant third because I think that Trump likely seeks a female running mate. I would have no problem with Tucker Carlson being VP, and it would drive the libs hilariously insane. Mike the Wapo, I'll plug my channel on this platform. Nature vids consisting of animals, plants, fungi, hiking, and kayaking. Some highlights include a rare white deer and a raccoon attack. I'm going to have to fucking check that out myself. Raccoon attack. They got rabies a lot. I wouldn't like that. Crossover Maniac. Have you heard of Jordan Maxwell, and what is your opinion of him? I've heard the name, but I know nothing about him. Chatty Factory says that I'm full of shit and I've never done drugs. I had videos up of me high as balls, actually, back in the day, including on Amanita mushrooms. So, yeah, I've done drugs. Next news story, and please send no more super chats because we're getting up to the wire here, and actually I've still got 4 fucking things to cover. I don't know if I'll get to all 4 or 3. I don't know if I'll get to all 3 of them. Bruce Willis tightly embraces daughter in loving photo while battling dementia. Die Hard actor, 68, married wife Emma Hemming Willis in 2009. And so they get a picture of him, a heartwarming picture of a very, very upset-looking Bruce Willis, you know, holding hands and hugging and stuff like that. I want to point something out. I really think that if you've got a demented relative, dementia rots away at your brain and makes it difficult for you to make your own decisions. When you've been diagnosed with it officially, it's going to be difficult to even get a lawyer to co-sign if you're doing fucking paperwork. Why, therefore, is he able to be reasonably expected to properly understand and consent to having a bunch of fucking selfies taken for social media? I think that it's sad, and the family shouldn't be doing that because he can't make his own decisions. It's like I wouldn't have taken a fucking selfie with my grandfather when he had dementia because, I mean, that would be morbid. It'd be terrible. And the poor dude, he's not even 70. He's got dementia. He's losing his memories and so forth. He's suffering. And they're treating him like a spectacle. They're constantly going to the media. Now, I can understand maybe it's just because they like, oh, well, we want Dad to be remembered as the great man he was, and we love him. And so, okay, that's perfectly fine, but that's not the way to honor him. Showing the public him in his worst possible moments. Look at this first picture here, for example, on the link in the description, archived, of course. He looks fucking miserable. He looks completely miserable. He looks like he's completely out of it. Is that the way that Bruce Willis, of all goddamn people, would want to be remembered? No, he would want to be remembered as the muscle-bound dude who was in Pulp Fiction or in Die Hard or something like that. Or my favorite movie, of course, Fifth Element, which, if you have not seen, is spectacular. It's one of the funniest goddamn movies that's ever been made. It's become a cult classic for a reason. Watch Fifth Element. That's how he would want to be remembered. I know that, for instance, and in Clankers, hold everyone around me to account for this. If I manage to get old enough to get dementia, I do not want to be paraded around as a spectacle. I want to go out into my garden and be given unlimited booze and let nature take its course. That's what I want if I'm demented. Keep me drunk and let me do my thing. If I wander off on the woods, if I go out for a hike, and I lose my way because I'm demented, and I end up 15,000 miles from home and die in a jungle, consider me to have died happy. I was on an adventure in my own mind. I was probably doing something totally different. It doesn't matter if I dehydrate or starve to death or something like that. Do not put me on the couch and take fucking selfies with me. You may think it's cute. You may think, oh, it's sweet, you know, his last moments and shit, but you know, we're trying to keep him comfortable. That's not the way that I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as this. I want to be remembered in my prime, not as a demented person who is clearly very, very distraught in that particular photograph and probably doesn't even know whose hand he's holding. I feel sorry for the bastard. I mean, this is Bruce Willis. He's a fucking action star. This is not how he would want to be remembered. If you have a demented relative, don't take selfies with them. Interact with them, but do it privately. Why are we incapable at this point in society of ever having a private interaction that we don't document for the public anyway? It's just retarded. I'm not saying that his family is doing this as a spectacle or that they're trying to do anything wrong, because it seems like they enjoy hanging around with him. I don't think that it's malevolence. I just think it's ignorance. It's just ugly. It's wrong. The man is demented. How can he consent to have his image and videos of him hugging his daughters put on social media? Don't you ever fucking do that to me, dude. I'd rather off myself before I would deal with that. Of course, I'd be demented. I'd forget to off myself. That's the whole fucking problem. So you sort of have to trust in those around you to have your best interest in mind and just sort of know what you would want in that particular instance. Fortunately, Bruce Willis, I don't think really told people about what he wanted in that instance because he looks goddamn miserable. And I feel very, very sorry for him for that. And he wouldn't even like the fact that someone would feel sorry for him. He's just not, you can tell, he's just not that kind of dude. John Andrew, Carrie Lake for Secretary of State. That would also be a good idea. That would work. Yeah, Fifth Element, one of my favorite movies. You know, absolutely 10 out of 10. It's right up there with Young Frankenstein and a very small number of other movies as far as comedy goes. The scene with the bomb when, what was it? I think it was Chris Rock, actually, is screaming his head off. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. Corbin Dallas multi-pass and... when the dude there tries to rob, Corbin Dallas, Bruce Willis, of course, and gets fucked. That was funny. By the way, Zorg, also the same actor that played Dracula, as well as Sirius Black in Harry Potter. And I didn't know that until more recently when I researched it. I'm like, oh, shit. Man, he does a good fucking makeup job. Mog of War. Pineapples on pizza ruins the pineapple. Pizza and pineapples are both good. They're good together as well. Tokar. Tucker may not be a good pick because of the compounded hate towards him on top of the hate in Trump. More moderate pick makes more sense. Yeah, Trump, I don't think, is looking to go moderate. That's why Carrie Lake is also on the list, along with potentially Tulsi Gabbard. I guess Gabbard would be up in the top 10 as well. Sparky. Sticks enlighten Tim Pool on Syrian gas attack hoax and Skripal poisoning hoax. Tim has Trump associates on and doesn't ask about how Pompeo and company fooled Trump, and has Trump learned his lesson? I can ask him about all sorts of stuff. I don't know exactly what the conversation will be about, though. I think that's to be determined. By the way, again, please don't send any more super chats because, I'm not even going to get to the Israel-Gaza thing. Okay, really quickly, Hezbollah is threatening Israel. Okay, that's that news story. And then a teenager claims to be the first to have beaten Tetris. Okay, there's that news story. You can look up the links in the description. By the way, there's also a Books blog link. It's pinned at the top on YouTube if you're watching there in the comments. It's cross-platform in the descriptions. I'll just read super chats now since, there's fucking too many of them at this point. Probably going to run over an hour just reading those. Fuck YouTube 10.2. I drank last night and have that weird feeling this afternoon where I'm hoping I didn't do anything embarrassing when I was drunk. Lol. Sticks, you're awesome. Well, you didn't do anything embarrassing on my shit, so I'll vouch for you on that one. Sparky, learn about those hoaxes from Aaron Mate of the Gray Zone and Useful Idiots. Yeah, it's perfectly acceptable to get drunk once in a while. Again, if I get demented, please give me a bottle that never empties and put me in my garden. I'll be fine. Be old and dying anyway. You're 68 years old. Okay, that's fine. You've lived a long life. Just don't humiliate me and show people. Yeah, are they going to show people pictures of Bruce Willis? Here he is. Here's Dad with shit in his Depends undergarments. Here he is getting catheterized. It's just, again, I don't think that in their case it's malevolence. I don't think they're trying to profiteer off of him because, he's made enough profit already. They're making millions of dollars a year just on back orders and shit. I don't think it's that. I just think that it's like you're almost too close-knit, I suppose. And it just becomes morbid. It's sad, honestly, to see that. Especially for, again, someone who's an action hero. He doesn't have the personality of like a submissive or something like that where he doesn't really care. He probably doesn't have a humiliation fetish or anything like that. Poor Bruce Willis. Again, he'd punch you if you said poor Bruce Willis, probably. Crocodile Pill, Hudson Hawk, the only movie worth mentioning. There are lots and lots of good movies out there. Mostly made before I was born, honestly. The Nerdwire. I think Vivek is a Confederate working with Trump. Never badmouths him and said he would pardon him if he became president. I think the opposite. I think that he's working against Trump. Although I do expect him to endorse him, which is kind of a contraposition. Sigil Stone, poor Bruce Willis has become a meat popsicle. Yeah, that was a funny line. I love that one where he switches the name Corbin Dallas on his door because he knows he's going to get raided with one of his neighbors. And the neighbor is one of those shape-shifting aliens of some sort. And the dude's in there shaving. And he's got a bunch of pictures of sheep, which originally I thought was a sexual reference, but actually it's probably a reference to Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It's a famous sci-fi novel. I think that was what they were getting at. And the police show up and they're like, will you please identify yourself? And then he, for some inordinate reason, I thought this hilarious as a kid, he just goes crazy and he goes up to the door and says, smoke you. And then he gets dragged off. And I never understood exactly why he said or did that, but it's still not entirely clear. I just thought it was hilarious. But no, the sheep were not actually a sheep fucker reference. They were a sci-fi reference. Sparky, go Yemen, fight the power. Well, it's not Yemen that's fighting the Western Sphere. It's the Houthi rebels in Yemen, actually. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're firing on ships all the time. Kim2425IA, fuck YouTube. That is all. So yeah, I finally got through the news stories. Had to gloss a couple of them over because I kept rambling about Bruce Willis for 10 minutes. But yeah, give me the cash. Yeah. Yeah, give me the cash. I remember that. That was, I mean, I can't remember. I probably watched that movie 10, 20 times, something around there. Really good. Watch Fifth Element with Bruce Willis. You will not regret it. Unless you have no sense of humor whatsoever. There's no way that anyone can watch that amount of slapstick and not find it funny. By the way, Space Truckers, a close second, I would say, for like sci-fi comedy. That's one nobody really remembers. I don't think it was really a breakthrough hit. There's that one scene with the dude, he's got like the electronic dick, and it's like spinning around and stuff. And at one point, I think he grabbed one of the other dude's dicks and said something like, "Is that my dick?" And then the dude said, "No, it's mine." And I don't really get it, but it was funny anyway. Lots of sexual references in that movie. So it's definitely, if you're under the age of 18, you must have a guardian, watch it with you. Or that'd be weird, but you have to. Soapmaker19, greetings from Iowa's front porch. Clankers, counting down to the days until I get to cast my vote for Trump on the 15th. Have a great day, all. Peace out. Make sure to talk to several friends and get them there, too. We need all the turnout we can get just to put this fucking race away as quickly as possible so the general can begin, because the Republicans right now are still infighting like morons. Irritated Kitty sent $5. No comment, thank you. Sparky, Sticks, how are you not familiar with Aaron Mate? Because I'd never heard of him before, actually. Sigil Stone, I'd like to stay quiet. No one knows I'm here. Corbin Dallas, yes. Ruby Rod, one of the funniest goddamn characters in all of cinematic goddamn history. Literally perfect performance. You couldn't get funnier than that shit. Ruby Rod. Hoochie coochie coo all night long. I mean, literally, I could probably recite the movie line by line at this point. Yeah. Lots of explosions, too. So don't worry. If you like the action side of things, there's lasers and explosions and shit like that. Part where Zorg is showing the aliens off his special gun in the extended version. If you watch the TV version, they truncate things and it's nowhere near as funny because there are so many funny parts that are missing. And for some reason, they decided to trim those as opposed to the more slow parts, and not exactly sure why. Definitely get the extended cut of Fifth Element and watch it. You will laugh. Yeah, to Doug, when I've seen it on TV a few times. I mean, it's still funny, but they edit out some of the funnier parts, including the brief topless scene involving the redheaded chick on there, which everyone was very thankful existed, especially when you're a teenager. Sigil Stone 17, Ruby Rod was supposed to be played by Prince, but they accidentally pissed him off and he walked. I've heard of that, actually, and that would actually have been really, really funny. I heard that he just turned down the position, though, and said, yeah, I'm not interested. He seems like a little bit of a stick in the mud. Talented guy, but a little bit hermit-like, actually. Apparently, in his studio, he had a cuss jar. He was a Jehovah's Witness, if I remember correctly. He had a cussing jar, and if you swore around him, he would make you put money in the jar. Prince was a little bit of a weirdo, a very talented man, but he had some bizarre proclivities. But I suppose if you play at that level, even if you're a total ass, you're just eccentric, so. Fluston's Paradise. Yeah. Maybe I'll watch that movie again later. Purple Prose, heard of 261 million first-of-its-kind case against CPS? No, I have not. If you have a link about that, you can always link me on Twitter DM. Anyway, I'm going to go offline. We're running up on an hour, and I will be back tomorrow, but I got other things that I got to do too. Well, not terribly many things, actually. You get a little bit of a day off, but there's always something to do. Sigil Stone. Prince walked because the director described a part of Rod's costume as using a French word that sounded a lot like fuck you. Interesting. I didn't know that part. It doesn't surprise me. Maybe that fits in with the cuss jar with his religion, Jehovah's Witness. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I thank you to the over 4,000 people who watched live. We'll cover the news and more tomorrow and hopefully have some more ranting fun and shit. I'm thinking about maybe more funny and ranting and responding to all of you as opposed to just the news coverage, because people seem to like it, and I know I fucking like it because it means less news crawling for me. But yeah, if you've got any cool news tips, you can always DM me that on Twitter. My DMs are open, and I appreciate it all. If I don't respond, which I frequently can't because there's 10,000 of them a day, I still appreciate it anyway. I do see the news tips that people send. I can't get to everything, but I can get to some things. So make them juicy. That's about all. Peace out.